So please go ahead and type in where are you joining us from, what is your name, and what country are you in. Again, this is Obdulia from California. I'm actually located in Silicon Valley, only 30 minutes away from San Francisco, and all the big companies are here. So Jenett, let's see, we're okay. Oh, wow, we have people from all over. We have Rene from Australia. And then we have Charlie from where?
Charlie from Las Vegas.
Oh, Charlie from Las Vegas. And then who else do we have?
We have Jenett from Netherlands.
Wow, beautiful. Sherry, how do you see the whole conversation? Because I only see one line.
I'm not sure. I can see everyone is typing in from where they come from. It's very amazing. So we have Sheraya from St. Martin. We have Lior from Toronto. We have Rose also from California. Joyce from Kenya. We have Bob from Nebraska, and Richard from Alberta, Calgary. So yeah, so keep typing in, team. Like to welcome you from all over the world. It's very exciting. This is truly global business, and we can sit at the cup of our own home. I know it's winter time for a lot of places. Probably it's cold and freezing.
Hi, Obdulia.
Oh,
Yes.
Hi, Obdulia.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. How is everything going in Toronto?
Great. We just had a little technical challenge, but we got in it figured out. So we're getting ready to start from here.
Excellent.
So I'm going to actually. I'm going to pass the phone to Robert Watterson, who's our host for today. Okay, so he can greet everyone online and everyone there on. He's going to greet everyone in Toronto and everyone around the world, and then we'll get started. Okay, so Obdulia is on the line. Who's our ambassador?
Hi, Abdullah.
Yes, this is
Hi.
Sherry. Yes.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is our final GWT Momentum Boot Camp of the year. This is going to launch off our next 12 months of fantastic, record-breaking performances. If everybody is ready, we're going to get going. We are running a little bit behind here in Toronto because as it would normally stand in Toronto, there was no snow this morning, no rain and sunshine, so all the highways were closed with accidents and everybody's running behind. So the first person we're going to have up for our Forensic 8 is Jenett. Most of us know Jenett pretty well anyway, but she comes from a traditional business background where she supplied handbags to the biggest department stores in Canada. She also owned a boutique for about 7 years. About 7 years ago, she saw the vision as well about building a legacy for her children and earn the residual income so that she could prosper and go without having to be in a 9-to-5 driving and overhead and banking and everything else that we're all faced with in the business when you have a standard at-home business. She has done very well in the business so far. She's got a long way to go for her own personal because she is just beginning. As any of you who have met her know, she has only just started. She has become, first of all, one of our branding party champions, as well as having 70 VDMs that she has personally launched, 10,000 VDMs in 83 countries with over 25 million in retail sales. So when I say she's just getting started, you know what I mean. 25 million is going to grow very, very, very fast for her. She is also GWT's newest regional ambassador. Everybody give it up for Jenett. As Jenett comes up and is getting ready, I also want to mention that we have a very special guest in the room today. James Johnson has traveled to Toronto, Canada from the Bahamas. Now, why you would travel to Toronto in December from Bahamas leaves everybody in this room speechless. We don't know why. But he's been with the company for about a month, and he feels that it is very necessary to get all the training that he can. He met Reza online and actually started to get into the business without ever having met anybody. And he knows this business is going a long way. So welcome, James.
Thank you, Bob. Well, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon and good evening across the world. This is our first bootcamp live telecast via webinar, because I know that this bootcamp is really what's going to hit momentum for 2015 for each and every one of you. So congratulations for being here, and for all the LCs around the world that's online. Again, thank you for coming. That's what you call dedication, right? I mean, how many people in Toronto that are not even here? And then we have somebody who flew from the Caribbean, which is a warm country, who came to Canada just to, you know, to learn and to make sure that they do get the great momentum for 2015. So what we're going to do is we're not going to be showing the PowerPoint right now. I know online you guys can show the PowerPoint. What we're going to be talking about is 8 categories of distributorship. So we're going to find out what categories you're in so that we can correct it for 2015, right? So this training here is actually, it's very dear to our CEO's heart, because this is the company that he started so that he can help not just network marketers, but also business people in general. So this is how you're going to walk into 10K to 25K to 100K to $1 million. Sounds good? Right? So direct sales is actually the last resort for regular people like you and I to hit a home run. There is no job, there's no other businesses, not even traditional business, that can hit a home run for regular people like you and I. Unless we have a multi-million dollars that we wanted to waste, you know, it's not advisable, because I just wasted over $250,000 putting in a traditional business. So direct sales is really for average people to hit a home run. And I wanted to ask, what if you have a crystal ball and you can see in 3 years where your life would be in this industry? What would you like to see? Our lovely lady here. What would you like to see, Annalie, in 3 years?
Happiness. Happiness and wealth.
How much money?
Well, a few million will be nice.
Yes, few millions, right? Well, unfortunately, we can't see it. We don't have a crystal ball, but this is the second best thing. Here you can determine where your business is going and how much success you're actually going to be hitting in the next few years. Okay, so I'm going to go start the 8 categories of distributorship. And what I want you to do is write, you can take down notes, and then you can also, later on, I'm going to ask some volunteers who would like to, you know, volunteer and see which categories you're in and what would you like to change. So let me just see to make sure that we are all good here. Okay, so our online friends are all good. Okay, so the first one is the Lotto group. Oh, did I just do that one? So the Lotto group, these are the folks that come to the business presentation and get seduced by the hype and buy distributorships enrollment package and then disappear. So these are the people that saw the tour. They got really so excited because maybe, you know, they saw Sean Haynes presenting, right? They get really, really excited. And then what happened after they joined, they disappear. They didn't really do the business. And in some cases, these people get engaged based on the false promises of the enroller or the people who sign them in, right? So sometimes they make promise that, you know, it's really not happening. So what happens is that they lose interest and then they disappear. So they call themselves investors because they're not really in business. So these investors didn't buy a business and pursue the direct sales profession. So how many of you believe that direct sales is a profession? It's a career. It is, because if you don't treat it that way, guess what? Your business is not going to go anywhere. And so if this is you, the fortunate part is that we have an amazing, amazing product. So what we can say is enjoy your product. Okay? So that's the first one. The second one is the Weekend Wonder Group. This is very interesting because these people usually come to the first meeting in a designer suit. Wow. How many people have you seen like really sharp, right? And we're like, wow, that is going to do really amazing. So these people, they're easy. They join right away. They get the business. And but the thing is, they don't feel like they need education. They don't feel like they need you to tell them what to do because they look sharp, right? And you think they know everything. So these are the kind of people that really comes in, build massively right in the first few months or first year. But what happened is that because this guy is so sharp and he's doing all these tours, you know, all bringing in people, signing up people, but unfortunately it's not duplicating. So when they see that nothing is duplicating under their business, guess what? They go jump into the next one. So these are the people that comes in the industry with the attitude that they're going to make $1 million, even if they take them all weekend. How can you do a business in a weekend, right? So if this is you, you're not a direct sales profession, and you're new to get rich experiment and will be short-lived. So again, because we do have an amazing product, so please enjoy your product. Okay, so the next one is the slave driver group. Wow, this is really fun. It's slave driver group. So this group is rare, but it's there, and believe me, in 7 years, I've seen it. These individuals are the investors who come in and spec the upline to build the entire business for them. So these are the people, I mean, sometimes we can't really blame them because, you know, it's also the enroller promising the person that, you know, just come in and I'm going to build this for you. Okay, so this group is not satisfied with the help and support they receive and expect the lineup to keep creating welfare check. That's what we call welfare check. Okay, and these people are not shy to ask their upline to place 2 hot shots. So these are the people that tell their upline, just give me 2 people, one on my left, one on my right, and I will continue to pay my monthly IA. So these are the people that are slave driver group. Okay, and often they want to pass along their box of business cards to their upline and get them in for them. So these are the people that, you know, if they have a lot of contacts also, they give it to their upline and say, here, do the calls for me. Do the tours for me, and then sign up the people under me. So these are the people. If this is you, guess what? You're not a direct sales professional. Okay, so what that means, Exactly. Enjoy your products. You see, that's the beauty about our business, right? We all have amazing products. So it's always a win-win situation. But what if you're in another company? Are you going to enjoy all your vitamins? Right? So at least in our business, if that's you, we still get to enjoy our products. Okay, so the next one, oh, we love these people, the social group. Okay, so the social group are generally nice, friendly people, and they give 100% of their time to workforce. So these are the people that their primary reasons involving is more of the social and not the money. So these are the people that you actually see at the registration table or volunteering to make sure the tours run smoothly. These are the people that's there every single event. Okay, they never miss an event, and there's always there happy and cheering. But guess what? They never bring a guest. So they themselves never miss any events, but they never also bring a guest to build their business. So if this is you, well, of course, you're an important and highly liked in our company. But if your primary reason is become a direct sales professional and to, earn a lot of money, well, this is not for you. And what do you need to do? Enjoy your product. But we love you, so of course we want you to be here, right? So the next one is sometime group. So sometime group. This group is the largest segment of the home business direct sales. And they call themselves part-time, but they're not really part-time. There's two different distinctions between a sometime-er and a part-time. Okay, so sometime-er allows their business venture to take back seats to all their other competing commitments. So what it means is that they're doing the business, but guess what? When life happens or they get busy, they kind of put their business in a back burner. Okay? So for example, if, there's a lot of moms that comes into the business because they wanted to earn extra income. But what happened is that it's more important for them to, take their kids to class lessons, to, do laundry, to cook. So these are the people that in the sometime group. What it means is that they're doing their business sometimes. But when that happens, guess what? Your paycheck, your income will also come sometime, right? It's not going to be on a regular basis. So they simply conduct their business when they can and as long as they can. So they don't have a plan of actions or precise business plan. Like I said, they just go by it day after day after day. If I have 2 hours today, maybe I'll do the business, right? Or sometimes even if I do have 2 hours, what happens is that, oh my gosh, I see the pile of laundry or I see the dishes. I have to go grocerying. So these are the people that are in the sometime group. If your promise is for your business to eventually release you from your job or traditional business, guess what? It's not going to happen. Because like I said, your check, your pay is also going to come sometime. Okay, so according to Rene, you cannot socialize your business. If it's a business, it has to be a business. You cannot socialize it. If this is you, well, at least you're halfway. But again, enjoy your products, right? So, okay. So the objective, though, for a lot of sometime group people is to convert them into the part-time group. So objective is, again, to shift as many sometime group into the part-time group. So now we're getting better. So part-time group, this group does all the right things, okay? They have a real opportunity to reach most of their financial targets. So these are the people that work part-time, and they will become part-time serious or even full-time. This group is not in a rush. So this group, though, they're not into rush, into making a commitment. So, however, there are two key weaknesses that part-time group possess that separate them from the top most successful group. How many of you know what are those two keys, weaknesses in being part-time, in being working it part-time? No? Well, they have not been committed to become a trainer. And they also not training their team. So these are the people that bringing in people. So they're great. They're good at bringing in people. They're good at doing their tour, but somebody else has to do the tour for them. They're not stepping up as a leader. And people are attracted to strength. That's why people grow their business, and that's why there's a lot of people in the top income earner. That's the difference between people that are stepping up and people that are just hiding behind their upline or somebody that do the tour for them. So again, the part-time people. Okay, well, Sherry decided to put it. Okay, so there you are. So the part-time people, again, they have not built the like and trust. So they haven't done that, and they're key leaders mainly because they have not utilized their home. So Ramin said for you to be considered to become a leader is you need to step up. I know sometimes it's very scary, believe me. Like when we first started this business, literally Sanas put up in front of the room. You're due to do the tour. So we don't have any options. But that's how we step up our game, right? Because you can build a huge organization, but guess what? If you have not stepped up as a leader, most often you're going to lose a lot of your LCs because they're attracted, like I said, to strength, right? A lot of people, they may not be, bringing in a lot of people, but you see them, they're helping their LCs and they're signing up a lot of people because they have that strength as a leader. So people follow them. And again, these are the people also just never open up their home. And why do you think that a lot of big company, churches, they do a lot of Christmas parties? They do a lot of barbecue. They do a lot of those events for their team. Is because that's how you build the like and trust. And that's how you kind of, get your whole team follow you, right? Again, if you wanted to be a leader, you need to step up. That's why we always tell people, I know it is scary, but as soon as you step up to become a leader, guess what? You can build your team wherever you are. Because again, people attracted to people that are powerful, right? People that have that strength. So that's why we always advise people, once you reach the diplomat level or ambassador, or even if you wanted to get to that position, what you wanted to do is you wanted to step up. So you don't have to present in the thousands of people, right? But do your own tour. Because the more you do your own tour, the more you feel comfortable, and then you'll be ready to face a bigger crowd. So it's just getting, like a small group, and then a medium group, large group, and then who knows, some days you guys are going to be talking in front of whole crowd of people at the Air Canada Center, right? Isn't that amazing? I mean, honestly, we have not even touched the surface yet in this business. And I know that someday, our weekly tour is going to be at the Air Canada Center. Wouldn't that be great? So now it's a great time to practice while we're still, you know, a little bit smaller. Okay, so the next one is a part-time serious group. I guess you're going to change that one. Okay, so this is the select group that you always hear about. They went from 0 to 10,000 per month in 12 months. Okay, part-time. And we have so many people, honestly, through story that happens here in our own backyard, in our own company. This special group may be part-time, but they really have 2 full-time commitments. So these are the people that have a full-time job or a full-time business. So they're already working 40 plus a week, but they're also working their direct sales business. So we have a lot of people like that, you know, started part-time, like serious part-time. Actually, Rene, I'm sure you guys all know Rene Lior, right? He started when he used to work as an IT programmer. So he works 40, 50, 60 hours a week, but during lunch break or after work or weekends, he always do his business. So like I said, a lot of people are like that. And this group is totally motivated to build their direct sales business, because what they wanted to do is to replace their full-time income and eventually retire from their full-time job. And they live and sleep their business. So that's E&E, right? So excited and exhausted. And it takes commitment to be able to keep on track that pace for 12 to 18 months. But they achieve the initial 5-figure income, and then they move into the 6-figure income. So it's not easy, but honestly, it's very simple, and it's definitely worth it. And trust me, I've done it, and I know that it's all worth it. All we really need to do is take actions and extra steps to become a leader. And they use the existing company tools, so you don't have to reinvent. The good thing about our business is everything is given to us. We have the right system, the right tools to hit a home run. But like I said, again, it's all about taking action, and it's all about consistency. And the last one, of course, is a full-time group. So the full-time group is, it shares many similarities with part-time serious group, but the difference is that they're only working their direct sales business. But there's also danger in this, because what happened is that when you work as a full-time, what you wanted to do is you need to have schedule. Because if you don't have schedule, if you don't have a plan of action, what happens is that you're lost. Because you see, when you're working it as a part-time serious, so you go to your job, right? But you meet a lot of people. So meaning your leads is constant. You're meeting a lot of people. You're doing a lot of tours. But what happens is that when you go full-time, you kind of lose, lose that aspect of getting people. So what you wanted to do, that's why Ramin always say, as soon as we start a business, what's the first thing you need to do? Is you need to create your warm 250 list. And that warm 250 list, you should always continue adding into that list. So that way, when you work full-time, guess what? You have all those people that you need to talk to. What happened in traditional business? How do they operate their business? They need inventories, right? Like, how can you run a successful business if you don't have inventories? How can McDonald's sell hamburger if they don't have hamburger and a bun? But in direct sales, you need people. People is our inventories. So if we don't have people to talk to, guess what? Our business is not going to run smoothly. And the second thing that happens when people start working full-time, they have all that time in the world in their hands. So now, instead of doing business, again, they get into the habit of cleaning the house, taking their kids to lessons, going on vacations, and then it's hard for them now to get back on track. So that's why if you want to work this full-time, we suggest for you to have all your plans in place. So the first thing again is you need to have the warm 250 list, and then you will continuously adding on to your list. That way you don't run out of people to talk to, because the people we talk to are all our inventories. And also what you want to do is you need to have a plan of action. Like you need to have a schedule as when you were working full-time. So if you were working 40 hours in your job, and let's say you don't really want to work 40 hours in your direct sales business or your global wealth rate, if you want to work 20 hours or 30 hours, you want to make sure that you work that every day. Again, it's consistency. It doesn't matter how many hours you decided to work. Of course, you need to have consistent on the hours that you're going to be working. So if you're working Monday to Friday, let's say from 9 to 5, the same as you will do your regular job, then you want to make sure that you're doing your business those hours. So again, it's consistency and also your inventory of people. So those are the 8 categories of distributorship. So I wanted to ask now, because we might not have time, I only have 5 minutes. I see all this flashing of time. So it's just, because we wanted to help you. So this is not to embarrass you in any way, but we wanted to just figure out where you're at now so that we can help you move to the next level. Because our target really, if you're still working your full-time job, is to become a part-time serious. And eventually, end up being a full-time distributorship. So how many here are in the Lotto group? Lotto group are the people that just comes in and then they build a little bit and then they kind of disappointed and they think they won a lottery, right? How many is in the Lotto group? Oh, that's good. We don't want to be in the Lotto group, right? How many here is Weekend Wonder group? These are the people that comes in the nice suit, and they bring in a lot of people. They honestly make like 5,000, 2,000 in their first month or, first year. But what happens is that it doesn't duplicate. And then they kind of lose interest, and then they move from another company. Who here is in the slave driver group? Lior? No, I think they're doing that to you, not you. These are the people that, here's all my contacts, please contact it for me. Or just put in 2 people, one on my left, one on my right. No? Okay, that's really good. I'm so impressed. How many here are in social group? We love social group. They're always there every event. That's good. How many here are in sometime group? Sometimes I'll do the business, sometimes I don't. Sometime group? Okay. I mean, like I said, we just want to make sure that you move to the next one, which is the part-time group. How many years are in the part-time group? Very good. So the next step now in part-time group is please to set up as a leader. Because again, once you're a leader, once you see all the tours, not all the webinars, but volunteers in some of the webinars, guess what? The people international are going to see how great you are as a leader, and people will get attracted to you. Again, people are attracted to strength. And then next is how many are in the part-time serious group. So these are the people that know the plans, they have full-time job, but you know what? I'm going to work this and I'm going to hit the full-time. And again, how many here are in the full-time group? Yes, we're very, very blessed to be in the full-time group. And like I said, you need to be very, again, you need to be very consistent. So for those of you that are really confused what's going on, don't worry, as long as you don't you don't belong to the latter group or the slave driver, it's good. We can always help you in any way. Again, the key really is taking action and consistency, because you can do anything and everything what you put your mind to it. And I always tell people, there's only one person that's going to make you successful or fail, and that is you. Okay? You need to decide whether you want it to be successful or you want it to, you know, enjoy your products, right? So thank you very much for your time. I'm going to pass the mic to Bob.
Thank you very much, Jenett. Wow, wow. A lot of great information, a lot of motivation. We're moving into 2015. Right. Whoever thought we'd get that far, 2015. Our goal now is 2016 March. That's where we're looking towards. And Lior is going to help us get there. Lior is the number one, the one and only top recruiter in the company. Worldwide, GWT top recruiter. He's launched, and this is not 100% up to date because we just had to go looking for it right away. He's launched 103 VDMs according to this. I think it's probably higher. And he has a goal of 200 by August 2015. Now, if you are following Jenett's information and everything and you want to set yourself a goal, that is how you set a goal. I'm going to do this by then. Exactly perfect. That's the way a leader will do it. He's won the Top Recruiter Award, of course, in 2010. He's launched 10 VDMs in a single week. I don't think there's anybody else more qualified to talk to us about forensic economics of this business than Lior Scaler. Lior. I should say Regional Ambassador Lior Scaler.
Thank you, Bob. Let's keep it going for our host. How you guys doing? Seriously? How you guys doing? Now they believe you. Okay. They were like, is anybody there? Well, thank you, everybody, for being here today. Thank you, everybody from all around the world for joining us today. Who here in this room got up at 3:30 in the morning and drove 5 hours to be here today? Anybody? Anybody? Let's give them a round of applause. Come on. Montreal. We got our Montreal people over here. So, yeah, wow, right? That's commitment, right? And there's people who live 15 minutes away and they're not here. Right? So that's what it takes to be a part of the 1% that has success and results, right? So I was going to do this section all by myself, but I figured you guys wouldn't just want to hear me speak. So I'm actually going to bring up another gentleman, and we're going to do this section for you together. This gentleman is one of the top earners of the company. A few months ago, he actually started to make $100,000 a month. So, yeah, give it a come on. We're just waiting for people to get back on their chairs after falling off their chairs there. He's won a free luxury car from the company, a BMW M5 worth $130,000. And if you've never taken a trip in his car, the butt massager is incredible. Okay, just for the butt massager, take a trip in his car. All right. He used to be a programmer at TELUS, got started in this business because he wanted to spend more time with his family and travel around the world, and that's exactly what he does. Just got back from Taiwan, got back from Nigeria. He goes everywhere, supports his team, builds his business, was on a vacation in Malaysia, also with his family, enjoying his life. So that's what the GWT's lifestyle is all about, right? It's about do this business as hard as you can for 3 to 5 years and take the next 50 years and travel the world with your family and do what you want to do. Does that sound good? Who wants to have that life? Give it up for Rene Lior!
Thank you, Lior. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's definitely been a crazy, crazy last 7 years of my life. But, of course, today we're going to cover a very important topic because I think a lot of people in this world, they kind of get into the lifestyle of, the daily life, go to work, off work, go to work, off work, and forget about what's happening in the economy today. If you go to Google, everyone know Google, right? Okay. Then you go and type in, Canadian economy. You will learn about all the things happening to your market today. So, and what's shocking is that how many people don't even realize what's really happening in their own country. So today we're going to share with you guys some of the key things happening in Canadian economy to understand why you need to have yourself a business. Why it's important to have a business on the side, right? So let's get right into this together here.
And why you want to pay really close attention here and take notes if you have pen and a paper is because when you're sitting down with somebody who has a job, they might not understand what we're about to share with you, okay? What we're about to share with you is what every single person who does not have a home-based business needs to hear, okay? And so you need to take notes, you need to memorize this, you need to write this down, because when I go for a coffee with people at Starbucks or Second Cup or whatever I go, or whatever they have in Montreal, this is what I share with them to help open their eyes, to make them understand that life could be better, all right? And life is really not as good as they might think it is, all right? And this is what we're going to share with you today.
And if you want to sound really smart in front of your prospect and look really knowledgeable, just copy the stats we have on these slides here, okay? So here we go. So,
who's ready for some stats?
Yeah, okay.
Right there.
Okay.
We got one.
And so I'm a programmer, but I seem to have forgotten.
I think.
Who set this up? Oh, Sherry. Yeah, Sherry. Next, Sherry. Okay. Sherry, if you're there, can you move the slide to the next one, please, Sherry?
So, is everybody thinking of breastfeeding now? No?
Okay. You know what we're going to do? We're going to use our own slides.
Okay, good. We got our own slides.
Because I am.
So the first thing we're actually going to talk about is tax savings. Okay, so how many people here benefit from the tax savings of having your own home-based business? Anybody? Anybody benefits from tax savings of having your own business? Yes, okay, good. So while you've been in GWT, for those of you who have been benefiting from the tax savings, how many people have gotten money back from the government? Put your hand up if you've gotten money. Look around the room, right? How many people, those of you who did not put your hand up, how many of you were not aware that you can get money back from the government? Anybody? Okay, so what have you been doing? All right, so what you need to do is you need to speak to your accountant to figure out how you can use this opportunity to get between $3,000 to $9,000 back from the government every single year. This handsome gentleman right over here used to work for the IRS, the United States government, and he was a tax advisor for the United States government, a tax attorney as well, and he actually wrote a book on how to save money on your taxes. Okay, and so what he says is, according to Sandy Botkin, former IRS attorney, the author of Lower Your Taxes Big Time, he says you would have to be brain dead. All right, anybody in here brain dead? Okay, good, just checking. You would have to be brain dead not to start a home-based business. Brain dead, right? Now, if you say that to your prospect, they might get offended, all right? So don't say, you're brain dead, you don't have a home-based business, all right? But let them know that he said it, all right, to make it a little softer, right? So you can save between $2,000 to $10,000 per year. Where's Sarah? Sarah? I remember a big check that we use of yours. How much was that for? $5,200 back from the government, all right, in 1 year. What would you do with an extra $5,200? Right? You'd what, go travel? Well, buy me lunch? Who wants to buy me lunch? Nobody. We got one, yes. See me in an hour, all right? See me in an hour. So these are some of the things that you can actually write off on your taxes: your internet connection, cell phone service, computer, business startup costs, advertising, trips that involve business, a percentage of rent or mortgage, okay? So if you're paying the government every year, get a good accountant, call your accountant, and make sure that they understand that you have a home-based business and that they properly file your taxes. And I know that Rene regularly in Toronto does tax-saving seminars where we actually teach people exactly how you can save money on your taxes and how much you're going to get back.
Actually, it's a really great session. If you haven't been to one, make sure you come out for one. So I do one every 2 weeks in Richmond Hill. I know that Jenett Beaver and Sean Haynes does one out in the Brampton, Mississauga area, but once every 2 weeks. One in Montreal as well. So one in Montreal, we have Richmond Hill, we have Brampton. I know that, Bob, you help run the one out in Brampton, right? Right. And of course, so there's always something happening with the tax savings. Now, who's ever heard of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the book by Robert Kiyosaki, right? Life-changing book here. So what he says in regards to that is that the tax laws are not fair, clearly. They're written for the rich and by the rich. If you want to be rich, you need to use the same tax laws the rich use. And that's said by Robert Kiyosaki himself. So again, during your presentations or your meetings, you don't have to go into all the details of how it works, but definitely mention it during your prospecting or your meeting, because it really does help a lot for your process to be more open-minded towards the business opportunity itself.
So do you have access to the same tax laws that the rich people use? Do you guys have access to that? Yes. Yes, you do. And why do you have access? Because of GWT, okay? You have a home-based. You have a home-based business with GWT, and that means you have access to the same tax laws that rich people use. So you have to start using those tax laws. And don't ask me how that works. Talk to your accountant, okay? Your accountant knows exactly how that works.
So this is really fun here. So for those in Toronto, this actually dated August 19th of this year by 24 hours. So who takes the subway? And always see this little magazine on the subway, right? So they had an article on how much did you pay in taxes. I don't want to go over it in detail, but the main thing to focus on here is that, number one, if you have kids, okay, congratulations, they cost you a fortune because you can see there that on average, to raise a child from 0 to 18 years old in this day and age, it's about $245,000. If you don't have that money in the bank today, that's what we're going to be looking at in the future, right? So, and really that number to me is very small. Because if you have private schools for your kids, for example, that's already way beyond that as well too, right? But over here, another key point is, look at this here. Taxes have increased 1.832% every single year since, since 1961. That's correct, yes. Thank you. 1,800% since 51, right? Do you think it's going to slow down, the inflation? Do you think tax will get less? No, right? So if your income's not constantly gaining, do you need something else to supplement the rise of cost of goods and inflation? Of course you do, right? Have to have a side business here. But watch this though. The average Canadian family in 2013, look at this. The total cash income they brought in was $77,000. An average Canadian is like a mother, father, and some children, right? That's an average Canadian family. So the total income is how much? $77,000, right? How much was paid here in taxes? $2,000, right? So of your income, even though your tax bracket might be, 31%, the total taxes you're paying from income tax, payroll. Why do you think you have a good healthcare system? Because you pay for it, right? Okay. But 41.8% of your total income is paid in taxes. Does it not make sense to have a home-based business to get back tax savings? Yeah, that's the English, right? Yes, right. So you want to have a business to get back those taxes, right? So who actually got a refund last year? Raise your hand. Who got a refund? Okay. Who got a refund through business? So those of you who got a refund but not through business, as long as you're still paying taxes, you have more to go. So leverage a home-based business to get back those juicy tax savings.
Imagine you can get back $32,000. Imagine you didn't have to give that $30,000. What would you do with $32,000? There better be more hands up. All right, let's see what the next slide is. And so, Canada, household debt is at a record $1.5 trillion. Okay? People owe a lot of money. All right? Because why? Because it's easy to whip out your credit card. That's why. Okay? But it's also easy not to pay your credit card.
And so the thing to focus on here as well is that,
So borrowing costs are going to be record low. So as long as the borrowing costs are low, people are going to keep borrowing money, right? So yeah. So yeah, so the Canadian household debt has reached record 1.5 trillion, and calculates that more than half of Canadians are borrowing just to afford living. All right, that's really sad, right? But that's reality for some people, right? So low interest rates will make it easier for Canadians to keep borrowing, setting them up for a fall further down the road, right? So it's so easy to borrow money that what do? We borrow money. And then what do we do with all that debt? Well, we try to pay it back over time, right? But is that the best way to live your life? No. And when you're sitting down with your prospects, you have to have them realize this is not the ideal way to live life, okay?
I'm just talking about now inflation. Again, Canada inflation rate edges up. So let me make people share that Canadian annual inflation rate increased to 2.4% in October from 2% in September. So in 1 month, inflation went from 2% to 2.4%, right? What is inflation? What is inflation? Yeah, the cost to buy and live, right? So it's getting more and more expensive here, right? So, I mean, things like this are constantly getting higher. Prices for clothing and footwear advanced 3.1%. Food went up by 3.8%, right? So look at McDonald's. How much was McDonald's 10 years ago for a Big Mac combo? Yeah, barely $5, right? $3.99, right? So do you think it's going to get cheaper? No, right? Yeah. So. Well, that's where it's going. Yeah. Who's Canadian here? Who's Canadian? So, according to them, of the room of about 50 people here, if the 60 of you here, 10 of you, 1 in 6, will eventually go bankrupt. So just by show of hands, who knows somebody, who knows somebody, yeah. Or who has either gone bankrupt or is going to go bankrupt? Anybody? Anybody know somebody? Look at all the hands, right? So wow. More than one. Room full of hands going. Room full of hands. So, and read that one right there, Lior. So why do we have such a high bankruptcy rate? The answer is simple: debt. See how inflation and how when interest rates are low, you borrow more. When you borrow more, you become tired. If one day you lose your job, you can't pay off the interest rate, the banks come after you, right? And so this is why it's one of the key things why you want to have yourself a business to have a backup plan. And interesting thing is there's another statistic that's not listed here is, do you know how much the difference is between bankruptcy and solvency? Do you know how much money the average Canadian needs to have not to go bankrupt? An extra $300. And in GWT, that's 1 cycle. Okay? So think about that. Yes, sir. We are encouraged by, so I'm just reading the slide here. We are encouraged by the government, banks, and retailers to use debt to finance consumption. According to Stats Canada, the average Canadian has debt equal to 163% of their disposable income. In simple terms, if you earn $20,000 after tax in a year, you have $32,800 in debt. That's not good. That's not a good thing. So do you think sharing this information with your prospects might get them thinking about what's the solution? Absolutely. So you want to share this? Yes. Exactly. Yeah, we're going to make these slides available. Absolutely. Yep. So, the whole article is talking more about just the whole thing about debt as well too. But the 3 questions here is something that you want to ask yourself. These 3 questions. So the 3 questions you want to ask yourself is: are you spending more than you earn? I see a lot of this. I see a lot of nods. Okay. Do you have an emergency fund? I see a lot of this. Okay. I see a lot of this. Are you already overextended? I see a lot of this, okay? So ask your prospects these questions, because the answers will probably be the same as we're having in this room, okay? And then they're going to want to know what the solution is.
and then we can offer them something. Okay?
Well, isn't it so key for yourself as well to really focus on your business, guys? Right? Because, I mean, you know, the next few slides here is talking about your jobs. So Canadian unemployment rate edges up in November. So the Canadian jobless rate increased slightly to 6.6% in November, up from 6.5% in the previous month. So in 1 month, unemployment rate got a little bit higher, right? So who here actually believes that, you know, your job is secure? I don't think anyone here, even the government jobs, the bank jobs, even they don't even realize that the jobs are secure anymore. So we got to.
And I love this slide, especially when. I love this slide, especially when a prospect tells me that starting a business is risky. This is where you bring this out, okay? Starting a business is about as risky as you losing your job, okay? So which one's going to give you more of an upside, right? Right here? So provincially, employment declined in Ontario and Saskatchewan while it increased in Quebec as well as Newfoundland and Labrador, all right? So Quebec people, don't be too happy, all right? It's probably not a lot. And Ontario people, we got to do something about that. So that's the forensic economics section, all right? That's the reality. Those are facts and numbers. You can't argue with facts and numbers, right? So we wanted to share those with you to have you, first of all, realize what's going on in reality, but also to help you to share this information with your prospects. Because when you do that, they're going to realize that just having a job and paying debt and then one day they're going to die is probably not the best way to live your life, right? So what is the best way to live your life? Own your own business. Why? What are the two things owning your own business is going to give you? Tax benefits. What else? More money. What else? More free time. It just makes sense, right, as opposed to going through the same life over and over again. Sounds good? I think it sounds good. We're going to stay here. Who wants us to stay? Anybody? All right, good.
This slide here is pretty cool because me and Lior actually made these slides for his Miami team, and it became such a huge training going forward as well too. So the tripartite belief again is all about your belief, because if you ever have someone join the business and then all of a sudden become very non-active, or they want to quit, maybe have to get started, have you ever asked the question, well, why was that? Why did someone get started and within a day or 2 days, maybe a week, don't do the business, or they don't want to quit? Why is that? Only one reason why. Forget the why, yes. Actually, the answer is here. It's simply the belief. Because if someone doesn't believe in what they're doing, or they're not actually helping others. So it comes down to the tripartite belief. And we call it a tripod because tripod has how many legs? 3, right? So if one leg is missing, it'll fall down, right? So if one leg is shorter than the other two, in other words, if one of your beliefs is weaker than the other two, you're still going to fall over, right? So all 3 have to be very, very strong here. So let's cover the tripod belief because we have so much fun in this training topic. And it's all again all about mindset is everything. If you have the right mindset, everything goes right. If you have the wrong mindset, if what your purpose is, what you're trying to go after is the wrong mindset, everything will fail. Yeah, okay, we're going to skip that white part. And so really, it comes down to this. You have to have belief in these 3 different areas in order to become very strong in this business and not for you not to get sort of weak on your legs, but also for your own new LCs who launch their malls, right? So belief in the industry, which is basically the network marketing, MLM, direct selling industry. A lot of people don't really understand the industry that we're actually in. So if someone says to you, well, it's one of those pyramid things, right? They clearly don't understand what is the industry that we're in, okay? Number 2 is belief in the company. And the company is everything. Company could be what? Could be belief in the company's products, belief in the company's leadership, belief in the company's compensation plan, belief in the company's leadership, ownership, the CEO, right? The system, right? So that's a huge chunk in itself, right? And the last one that sometimes is the hardest is belief in one's self.
Yes, okay. Which is sometimes the hardest part, right? Believing in yourself. Well, we're going to make it easier for you. Is that okay? Yeah. All right, good. So belief in the industry. Who has a high belief in network marketing? Be honest. All right? Who would like a stronger belief in network marketing? Okay, good. Thank you for being honest. That's great. So we're going to give you that here. So there's no other industry has created more millionaires than direct sales. No other industry, okay? I don't really know exactly how many millionaires have been created in direct sales, but there's a lot. No other opportunity allows for small investment and unlimited return. Now, this is actually a good thing and a bad thing, all right? So the good thing about network marketing is you don't have to invest a lot of money, right? Does anybody have $2 million to invest in a McDonald's? No, right? So the good thing is you don't have to invest a lot. The bad thing is you don't have to invest a lot, okay? Now, why is that a bad thing? Because you don't take it as if you've invested $2 million. Ask yourself, how differently would I be building my business if I had invested $2 million in this opportunity? What different actions would you be taking, right? Would you be spending more time on your business? Probably, right? So one of the things that is a good thing is that you don't have to spend a lot of money, but a bad thing also is that you don't have to spend a lot of money.
And the really funny thing is that even the first line here, let me ask you a question. Of you guys here and the jobs that you have in the industry that you're in, how many people have become millionaires? Right? Mostly the owners, right? Yeah, I mean, oh, real estate, that's a funny one. Did you know that in real estate, that 90% of all people who get the license the first year don't sell a single home? Oh, realtors. Yeah, realtors, right? So I have a lot of friends who have got the real estate license. They invested money for the license. They paid all these fees, did all the courses, right? Got the brokerage, but you know what? First year, tough luck, not one house sold, right? So, my point here is that, compared to any other industry in the world out there, if you want to become a millionaire, might as well choose the one that has the highest potential, right? Okay, so another benefit is that you can do your business at your own time with flexible hours. I used to own a traditional business before, and the business owned me, okay? So when you have your own traditional business, it's not all peachy and great, right? When you have a network marketing business, you get to lay on the beach like I was last year wintertime and collect your residual income, right? So that's the benefit of residual income. And, network marketing is one of the ways that the average person can access residual income, because there's lots of ways to make residual income. Write a book, sell a CD, make a movie. Can the average person do those things? No. So what can the average person do? This, network marketing, okay? Tax deductions. Did we talk about that? Yeah. Does a person who have a job need tax deductions? Yes. Is there low risk? Especially in GWT. Because is there any risk in GWT? Why? Exactly, because the products that you get are worth more than what you've actually invested in. So if you don't do what you need to do to build your business, sell your products, you just made all your money back. So, for example, the ring that I bought for Heidi in 2009, I paid $30,000 for my wedding ring for Heidi, and it was appraised by IGI for $47,000, right? When I called the banks, because I wanted to insure the ring because it was lost or stolen, the banks will ask you, well, do you have an appraisal? And you say yes. They go, well, from where? So you can't have any local small jewelry store appraisal because it doesn't mean anything to them. But I said IGI and Gem Labs. They said that's phenomenal. So again, if that ring were lost or stolen, I'll get a check back for the appraisal amount.
Don't get any side business ideas, right?
Yeah. Lior, 7 p.m. tonight. I'll be out.
Are you kind of appraisals?
Right? And that ring in 2009, guess how much? So I paid $30,000 for that ring in 2009. Guess how much is the retail value right now in 2014? $80,000 that ring, right? So again, I actually own, like Lior did, my own business before, a nail store, 3 of them in Taiwan. My monthly overhead to run a nail store was $6,000. $3,000 for the rent of the place and $3,000 for the employees, right? After 2 years, and we've closed them all down now, what did I lose? The $3,000, $6,000 every single month, right? That was my risk. In here, you invest $3,099 for a diamond package. What do you have in the end? You have $6,000 worth of products, right? See, with most businesses, the rent money you give, that's gone. Right? The rent money you give to the store, that's not your money. The store is not yours. That money is gone. So that's why we love network marketing, because it's very, very low risk, Of course, if you don't have much experience running your own business, it's a great way to get your feet wet in terms of running your own business.
Now, Donald Trump, anybody know Donald Trump? So Donald Trump made $1 billion and lost $1 billion. And they asked him, if you were to do it all over again, what would you do? He said, I would start a network marketing business because then I wouldn't have lost. I would have gained the experience not to lose $1 billion. Okay, that's the beautiful thing about network marketing is you get the business experience of owning your own business.
He got booed, right?
And then,
so actually, when he said that statement on the Oprah show, whatever, he got booed by the audience, saying that he'd start his own network marketing business. And do you know what was his response? He said, well, that's why I'm up here and you're down there, right? So always have that, again, yeah. Everyone in the crowd's thinking, oh, he's right. Right? Right? So, when you're doing your own business, sometimes you have to have that strength for yourself. It's not about what others think about you, it's what you know about yourself, all right? So
Warren Buffett, who knows Warren Buffett? Only the third richest man in the world. Why is he the third richest man in the world? Because he owns how many network marketing companies? 7. Did you know that? Did you know that? So the third richest man owns 7 network marketing companies. 7. Okay? So if your belief in network marketing was here, it should probably be going up, right? Right? Okay, good. Robert Kiyosaki, again, he says that every person who has a job needs a home-based business, and this guy's a business guru. All right, Bill Clinton. Who's Bill Clinton? Former president of the United States, right? Go to YouTube, type in Bill Clinton network marketing. You will see a video of one of the most famous U.S. presidents talking about how network marketing saved the United States economy. Saved it. Okay? Who should you share that video with? Everyone, especially your prospects, right? Wall Street Journal, one of the biggest business journal magazines in the United States, did a 40-page spread on network marketing and how incredible it is. The biggest business journal in North America. Okay? If something wasn't, no, if it wasn't good, right? Why has network marketing been around for over 60 years? And why else? Supported by others, why else? There's a need, exactly. There's a need. People need more money. People need more time. That's why it's been around for 60 years, and it's not going anywhere. It's actually only growing. I think last time I heard it was a $200 billion industry, more than the movie industry, more than NFL industry, more than NFL sports, more than most industries. It's bigger than most industries. Why? Because there's such a need for it. And I don't know, I think there's like 60, 70 million people right now that are doing this in the world, and it's only getting bigger.
Actually, I was going to mention that because when I got started in this industry at the age of 23, which is about 10 years ago, 2003, guess how many people there were in the industry of direct selling back then? I'll tell you, 55 million. So when I looked at the stats 10 years ago, when I first started in network marketing, there's 65 million people in the world doing direct selling, right? This year now, the most recent stats, guess how much there is now doing direct selling? 96 million people in the world doing direct selling. That's 30 million more people who realize they need to have an extra source of income.
And do you think that that's going up? Why? Because of the slides we just showed you in the forensic economics section. Those are the reasons. Unemployment going up, debt going up. This is why there's a need for this. But this is the biggest reason. This right here is the biggest reason. This is what's going to give you freedom in your life so that you can enjoy your life. Okay? So for the people who don't have a high belief in network marketing, it's really usually comes down to have nothing to do with network marketing. It's usually a lack of belief in themselves. That's what it usually comes down to. Because there's people making money with this. There's lots of examples. Okay, there's lots of successful companies. And so the people say, well, that stuff doesn't work, considering there's people making money with it and considering they're successful companies. What they're really saying is, I don't believe I can do it. That's all that it is. Okay? And so that part we're going to get into a little bit later when we talk about belief in yourselves, because we've all been there where we don't believe in ourselves, but there's things you can do to increase that belief. Okay?
Actually, I got some stats because I was at that big meeting out. Well, why don't you continue on here?
Belief in the company. Who loves GWT? All right, good. You better. Or else I don't know what you're doing here. So, GWT has been around for 9 years running, all right? It didn't start yesterday. It's been around for 9 years. Usually if a company, there's thousands of companies in network marketing, thousands of companies go out of business. Do you know what time frame they usually go out of business in? 18 months. Okay, within 18 months, most companies go out of business. If you're around for 3 or 4 years, maybe you're going to last, but you're not. 5 or 6 years, you're getting better. 7 or 8, maybe. After 9, 10 years, you're not going anywhere. Okay, so we've been around for almost 10 years. Over 120 celebrities wearing our products and will forever be more, right? Why are celebrities going to forever be wearing our products? Because they love them, all right? The company has never paid any celebrity to wear our products, ever. Never. They just wear them because they love them. Featured in the American Business Journal twice and once on the front cover, which is cool because that's a Canadian owner of a Canadian company featured on the cover of the American Business Journal. That's never been done in the history of network marketing. Featured in the Canadian Business Journal. In Prestige Magazine is one of the top 10 timepieces in the world. Featured in Regard Magazine, front cover and 8-page spread as well. Also, 2011 Luxury Designer of the Year. We have, I think, an announcement over here from Jenett.
The online event, you guys are not getting this engaged.
Do you guys feel alone over there on the internet? You're not alone. Let's show them they're not alone. All right, we love you guys. We love you guys. You guys, so, hello?
Lior, can you show your camera?
Can I show the camera? How do I show the camera?
We want
Technology guy.
We want to see you guys.
Oh, we have a camera here. Hold on. Hold on, can you turn it so they can see everybody? All right, we got the camera for you guys. There we go. Say hello. You guys feel better now? Okay, good. So, can you go to the next slide, Rick? So again, the company's being featured on. Do you guys like Rene? Featured in the Canadian Jeweler magazine 3 times in a row. And the Canadian Jewelry Association, this is their magazine. This magazine doesn't go to regular people. This is the Association of Jewelry. Okay, that's had us featured in the magazine. Preferred magazine, top 10 masterpieces of time, next to Rolex, Patek Philippe, Chopard, and they can only choose one for the front cover. Who did they choose? You guys are good.
You know that we had 4 presidents in Africa that actually bought the great president timepiece.
Yeah. So Rene was just saying that there's presidents in Africa wearing our president timepiece. And I think the reason they're wearing our president timepiece is because we told them they're not the president unless they're wearing the president. And they're like, oh, okay, I guess I got to get one now. So there's models wearing Hugo Boss, Versace, and Ferry, featured in Network Marketing Business Journal, okay, twice as the company of the month. So in a given year, how many companies are featured as the company of the month in 1 year? Anybody? 12. Mathematician. All right, we're right over here. How did you figure that one out? All right, you just got his calculator? Okay, good. You got a calculator, come on. So there's 12 months, right? How many months were we featured as the company of the month? Twice. Out of thousands of companies in network marketing, only 12 were given the opportunity to be featured, and out of 12, we were featured twice. Good? I like it. All right, good. They also said we're in a class of its own. Better Business Bureau. Who knows what the Better Business Bureau is? Okay. If you have a complaint about a company, go to thebetterbusinessbureau.com and you can find the company and make a complaint, and everybody can see it. Okay. So if you go to search for Microsoft, you'll find about 4,000 complaints, and only 2,000 have ever been resolved. So the Better Business Bureau tries to resolve it, but I guess they couldn't resolve 2,000. So they have a rating that they give companies between A and F. Okay, so I think Microsoft is like an E or something like that. Louis Vuitton, I think, is like a C+. All right. What does that say? What does that say? A+. Did you guys hear that? Okay, good. So that's an A+ on the Better Business Bureau website. Okay, that's incredible. So when your prospect says, so how do I know this is not a scam or a credible company, right? So whenever they say that, this is something that you can tell them, all right? We're an A+ on the Better Business Bureau, which means there's nothing to complain about. All right, in 10 years, nobody's complaining about our company. Why? Because there's nothing to complain about, okay? What's that? Yes, except for Nora. She complains a lot. Right? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Yes, they complain because they don't have enough beautiful products. That's exactly right. That's a good complaint. Don't go to the Better Business Bureau with that, okay? I don't have enough products. 950 Palladium. Who can tell me what that is?
The brand new product for just pure silver that you can get in the world.
That's right. That's right. So it's the highest, most purest silver in the world, 0.950. What does the world have? 925, and we have 950. Share that with your people, all right? 19 karat and 21 karat gold. Does anybody else in the world have that? No. Are you sure? Yes. All right, good. You're right. So, Plankston. What is Plankston? Platinum and tungsten. Very good. Are we the only ones that have that? Yeah. Good. So you should agree that this is the best company because nobody else has this. Okay. What else we got?
I think what is that, this one here to me sums it up. This quote here in a class of its own. Because when I talk to my prospects, I always focus on that because we're not doing another juice, another vitamin, another makeup, another coffee, another mascara issues, right? We're in a class of its own, right? So when you're talking about your company, do you see the enthusiasm that Lior has and the excitement that he has about the products? You can't be with your product saying, oh yeah, we have a 950 Palladium and 19 karat gold. You don't have that excitement and energy talking about your company, right? Because your prospect gets the energy from you. If you sound bored, they'll be bored, right? If you're excited, they'll be excited, right? Okay, so always remember that when you're talking about your company, check yourself. Are you happy sky high? Okay, if not, then go fly a kite. Okay, so. Okay.
The founder always says, just like Rene was just saying, light yourself on fire with enthusiasm, and people will come from miles to be burned. All right? Light yourself on fire with enthusiasm.
There's one key when you're doing your closing. If you're not having a high closing ratio, it's enthusiasm. I guarantee you that. If you look at the way that you are when you're talking to your prospect when you're closing, if you're not like pumped up that this is the best thing in the world, it'll show to your prospect. Just remember that, all right, guys?
Which is obvious, right? Because if you were sitting with somebody who was trying to share with you the best things since sliced bread and they like bored, okay? Would you want to do it? No, they were bored, right? You got to get yourself pumped up and excited.
Like when you go shopping and you're looking at the stuff, maybe the salesperson there was so excited about some kind of a product, you thought, she's got to be right. It's got to be the best thing in the world. I got to go buy one. Right? And you go home, and what happens? You're like, why did I buy that thing? It's because the salesperson was so enthusiastic about what they're selling you, right? Same thing, okay? So,
this is the only T-shirt with a W in the world?
yeah, right? So, okay, moving along here. Again, the only company in the world that allows you to buy and sell a brand. So, all of you guys, everything that you're wearing right now, the clothes, the scarves, the earrings, the watches you wear, it's not from Fairy. You went there, money went from your pocket to the store. Who are you making rich? The store in that case, right? At least with Fairy, you have a chance to buy the same kind of products, but make yourself rich, right? The only brand that pays you to go and market it, right? Last time that you bought a brand name bag, did the store call you back and say, hey, we want to thank you for wearing our purse and showing us that they're marketing it? Did that ever happen to you? No. Will it ever happen to you? No. Will LV one day come around and say, we want to share $40 billion of sales with all you guys? No. But here it can with Global Wealth Trade, okay? So again, the only company in the world that has a Plankston, we already covered that before too. And for all of you guys who might not be experts yet in the comp plan, believe me, I've done a detailed research on every single company in direct sales, every single company. Okay, I have all my results posted on my website till today, so that one of the company that can pay you more in residual income than our company can. Some of them have 20 bonuses, and your residuals like this. What do you want? Do you want bonuses, or do you want residuals? Right, because that's how you retire, right? So too many people fall for the bonuses here, and really it means nothing though, because it won't retire you with the bonuses, right? Commissions will retire you. Make sense?
How many people have used this when you're sitting with a prospect? Anybody use the comp plan comparisons? Has that helped you? Yeah? What was the reaction from your prospect like? Right. Exactly. So if you want to blow your prospects away and leave them like, I can't say anything right now, all right? This is what you want to show them. So I think a lot of us have gotten a lot of value on this, and I know that Rene has spent a lot of time on this. Let's give him a round of applause for that. Come on, let's give him a round of applause for that. Come on, let's give him a round of applause.
That I know has done the same kind of a posting on the website where they compare comp plans. Well, there's only one reason why, by the way. Because they would be embarrassed, because they would realize that someone else pays more than they do, right? So that's why I'm so confident to post all the results black and white on the website, because I know we pay the most. And why is that? Why do we pay the most commissions? Only one reason why. High profit margins on our products, right? I bought Heidi this bag, $6,000 for a bag. How much do you think was the real cost for that bag? $300? 2,000% markup, right? So is it good that you have a naturally high profit margin product? Yeah, that's right. So why can't other companies create high profit margin products? Why can't your vitamin company, my past one, raise the cost of vitamins from $300 to $500? Yeah, no one's going to buy it, right? It's so expensive, no one's going to buy it, right? You go to Walmart, go to Shoppers, right? So, but with our products here, because there's design, there's a brand, there's all these aspects to it. So from like a silver bar or a gold bar to a silver ring you put in your hand, it's gone up again, right? So a ring that you're wearing, if I put it into the bar form, it's worth a lot less, right? Because there's an aspect of designer goods and being wearable. All right?
Do you remember how many people in network marketing Rene shared with you there are right now? 96 million. Okay. You know how many of those 96 million in the last 6 years have been able to argue that what we have is not true? 0. Not one of the 94. Not one of the 94 million people has been able to argue what we've written here in the last 6 years.
They try.
They try, but they only look silly for trying.
Compound Park, I did a big training last Sunday, was it, on pitfalls, so I don't want to cover it again, but we have the training recorded on the website, right? So it just talks about, really simple, when you're building a plan, there's some key questions to ask to your prospect, right? How many legs do you have to build? Is it easier to build 10 legs or 2 legs? 2 legs, right? Anyone here want to say 10? I'm just really curious. Okay, right? Is it easier to build 3 legs or 2 legs? 2, right? So, and the most legal one to build is 2, right? You can't build 1 leg to legal. Okay, that's why we have the 5 legalized forms of plans which are binary, matrix, unilevel, scissor breakaway, and hybrid. Don't worry about that for now. How many levels? How many levels does it pay you down to? Do you want 10 levels deep or infinite levels deep? Yeah, it's simple questions, right? You look like a genius when you ask these questions to your prospect, right? Like, what do you mean how many levels? Yeah, so ranks. To explain ranks mean that you have to attain higher ranks to unlock more commissions, right? So I met a guy, quick story here, and he says, well, Rene, my company, my top earner, he makes $1 million a month. Something like that. I don't know what he was saying. I said, that's wonderful. I said, well, he must have the top rank in your company, right? He's like, yeah, he has the highest rank in our company. I said, oh, that's pretty wonderful. I said, well, I mean, so of your entire company, how many people as a percentage would have his rank? He's very proud, saying, well, less than 1%. So I said, what you're telling me is that for me to attain the income that you're bragging about this guy is making, I have less than 1% chance. He's like, like dumb thing to say, right? So the reality is that, in our company, we have no ranks. We all followed exactly the same plan. So if you sponsor a diamond on your inside leg, and he sponsors a diamond on the inside leg, you make the exact same amount of commissions, the highest commissions. Is that fair? Would it be fair if you sponsor a diamond and he sponsored a diamond because he's a higher rank, he makes more money than you? No. But we have no ranks. So why do other companies have ranks? There's only one reason why they have ranks. They can't afford to pay you. If they had high profit margins like we did, we can pay everyone equally, right? If they don't have high profit margins, they can't pay everyone the same. But they need some guy on stage with a big check saying, look how much money I made, you can do it too, right? But that's what ranks really can impact how you can make commissions.
Just really quickly, a story here. I was sitting with somebody last night who is in another company that we've analyzed in the link that we have before. And, I know the compensation plan that we have analyzed, right? So he looked at me and he said, so what can you tell me that you are better than us about? Okay? He's like, you can't tell me anything, right? So I said, well, did you know that in your company, if somebody in your team hits a higher rank than you and starts to make more money than you, you lose out on making all the bonuses from that person? He's like, oh, okay. So this is what's called a comp plan contradiction, okay? This is what's called the company's telling you, go help people make money, help people start their own business. But when you do, you're not going to make money from them. How is that actually helping people? That's not helping people. In GWT, the more money somebody in your team makes, the more money you make. That's the way it should be, okay? So again, you have to ask them, do you have ranks in your company? If they say yes, you're going to say, game over. All right, game over. You have ranks, game over. We're the only company in network marketing that does not have any ranks and levels.
Imagine if someone in your team, like Maria, when she hit RA, imagine if we had ranks like they did, and Lior lost all his commissions from that. That's what happens in other companies. But they don't tell you this in the presentation. They don't tell you this in the PowerPoint showcase, right? And then you fall into the trap. And you don't, so we always train on comp plans here, right? So. Oh, and for payout, okay? So again, simply, our company pays out how much? 70%, right? And of that, how much is in commissions? 60%. That's what you want. You want a plan that pays you heavily in commissions with good bonuses. Or would you want a plan that has 69% bonuses and 1% commission? No, because you'll never retire from your. It's a good job, right? So, so we always talk about in our company, the payout has to be focusing on residuals with some bonuses, not the other way around. Does that make sense? Okay. This also too, earning per distributor. At that Las Vegas event where I met all the other millionaires and six-figure earners, they actually asked everyone to stand up. They said, okay, if you're not making more than $250K a year, sit down. And a whole bunch of people sat down in the room, right? Then they said, if you're not making more than $500,000 a year, sit down. And almost everyone sat down at that point in time. They said, if you're not making more than $1 million a year, sit down, and it's like 5 of us left in that room. Not a lot, right? And so what I then did was I looked at those 5 people, and I found them afterwards, and I asked them, hey, to make your $1 million a year, which is $100,000 a month, roughly, right? How many people do you have in your organization? Answers range from 250,000 people to 600,000 people. Let me ask you a question. Do you think you can attain that kind of number? I'll be the first to tell you, I don't think that's possible. I can do it in 200 years. Yeah. After he reincarnates into the next into me. And so, you know, when I hit my first 6 figures in a month income, I had about 8,000 people. What's more doable, 8,000 people or 200,000 people? 8,000 or 100,000 people? 8,000 or 20,000 people, right? So in our company, each person in your organization earns you $8.92. That question? I wouldn't know what is the company's, but if everyone was diamond in your organization, you can actually figure it out, right? Look at your diamonds, look at your golds, the monthly IAs. So we base our ED on everyone contributing $150 per month, right? So let me show you how we figure out our ED ratio. Okay, this is really simple here. So what we do here, maybe you can get the laptop and just shine on me. So, yeah. So 6250 pays you how much? 500, right? The question is, how many people do you need on a monthly basis who are saving the monthly IA to generate this, right? So when someone contributes $150 per month into their IA, how much flows up for you? 75%, right? So when you have someone on your team who's paying the monthly $150, of that, 75% is what flows up, yes? Which is how much? Calculator man, 112.50. Correct? So 150 times 5% is 112.50. So the question is, how many people do you need paying this to reach 6250?
Rene, can you move the camera closer to the board?
Can you bring the camera closer to the Can you see? No. You the camera on? Oh, the camera's on. Yeah.
No, closer to the flipboard.
Oh, closer to the flipboard. You can, yeah. For now, you can plug it for now. Yeah, it'll turn off.
You cannot see anything.
Okay. Can you see it now?
The angle is not right.
The angle's not right. Come on, man. Yeah, okay. Let's say
You need to use a black marker because it's too light.
The marker's too light.
Sorry.
Sherry, you're fired.
No, I agree, Sherry. I agree.
Someone who's remote, right? Okay, here we go. Is that better now, or is it like Christmas all over again? Okay. Do you have a black pen?
Better.
Oh, that's better. Okay, that's better. Good.
Continue.
So 6250 pays you $500, okay? Each person in your organization who's laying away $150 per month to buying products will give you $112.50 towards a CV, right? That's consumable volume, right? So how many people do you need paying this to reach 6250? 56 people, right? So if you do 6250 divided by 112.50, so if you do 6250 divided by 112.50, what's the answer there? Someone have a calculator? It should be about 56, right? 56. Okay? In other words, 56 people will generate you 6250, right? Thank you very much. Okay? The question is, how much does each person generate? So if 56 people generate 6250, the question is, how much does each person generate? What do? You divide this by 56. You divide this by, sorry, the output by 56. So one person generates how much? $8.92. That's the ED ratio. Make sense? So 56 people, right, paying the monthly $150, which gives upwards $112.50. 56 times $112.50 is equal to 6250, which pays you $500. So 56 people is $500. To divide that by 56, one person pays you $8.92. Simple, right? A great question. So in the industry average, at best, one person pays you $1. Hence my question, that's why I went there. I asked every single millionaire there, how many people do you have to make 6 figures a month? They said 200,000 people, 500,000 people. That's even worse than this, right? That's what they told me. And usually, and so it's funny because, you know, unless they're lying to me, which, yeah. But from my own research on the website, because it's so easy to calculate. Any comp plan you give to me, or give to me and Lior or all the top earners, we can look at it and we can figure it out. You figure out how many people pay the monthly consumption and what payout it gives you. Just do the math, right? So you don't have to become an expert in this, because I don't want to. You really don't have to. But I want you guys to be confident in our company. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. If you're doing telecom, even worse. Telecom, last example here. I know one plan, they pay you on the first level here 0.25%. Let's do the math here. They pay $150, like us, right? What's 0.25% of 150? Roughly about, well, 0.25% of 150. Yeah, it's about 30 cents. 30 cents. Yeah. What's the number there? Can someone do 150 times 0.0025? Thank you. Is that 1-to-1? Is that 1-to-1? So again, the ratio is 1 person, $1, right? This is one person. How much? 38 cents. How many people would you need to make 6 figures a month? A retarded amount of people.
Not retarded.
Not retarded people. We don't discriminate, okay? But a retarded, unrealistic amount of people. So I'm going to get like, yeah. Okay? So this is why we're so passionate about what we do, is because we actually looked at this stuff here, right? But you know what's scary? You know what's freaky though? Most people in this industry have no idea about this, right? And you want to ask a question? Yeah. Why do they keep doing it? Yeah. So when I meet with my prospects, probably every single meeting I do, I'm covering this really quickly at the closing time. I mention the ED ratio, and then because when you can educate someone else to learn about this, you enlighten them, you empower them. Now they feel more confident in joining with your business, right? Yeah. Question?
How are you bringing that up with like an educated conversation, right? So that it's not like telling them something about the business. How are you wording it so that it's education?
Oh, it's a smile. Yeah, I say. I think, no, I mean, I think, can I share with you some industry stats that I've learned about? Because when you say, can I share with you? No one's rude to say, no, don't share, right? They always have, they have no answer but, okay, yes, please, right? Can I share with you, right? So, and actually, Bob here did the math for us. At this number, to make $100,000 a month income, you have to have 263,000 people. versus us is 8,000 versus 263,158. Yeah, thank you. Yes. All right, Lior. They're very great. We are now at the
retention ratio. What does retention ratio mean? How many people stay in your team? How many people leave your team, right? What happens if lots of people leave your team? What are you gonna say to your residual income? Bye-bye. Okay? So in the industry, the retention ratio is 11%. Okay? In the industry, it's 11%. Why do you think it's 11%? Because of the competition. All right? There's a lot of competition. 97% of companies are all the same. Health and wellness, telecommunications, skincare, makeup, all the same. 97% of companies fall into that category. Okay? So one company comes out and says, we have 10% more aloe vera than your company and we pay more. Where's your team going to go? Exactly, right? One company comes out and says, our skincare is more animal friendly than yours and we pay more money. What's your team going to do? Out, right? Our telephone service is cheaper than your phone service. Where's your team going to go? Lots of competition, and there's nothing stopping competitors from competing with those kinds of companies. Now, GWT time, right? So do we have any competition? Why in 10 years or almost 10 years has nobody been able to duplicate what we do? What's one reason? We're the manufacturer, right? Do you not think Gucci, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton would love to be able to do what we do? Are they the manufacturer? No, they're just marketing companies. They can't offer what we offer because they're not the manufacturer. Okay? And even if they wanted to become that, it takes $500 million to be able to set something like that up. And even in order to set something like that up, what else do you need? Experience. We have 120 years of experience. How are they going to match that? They can't.
Or even LV even want to share that money with you? No. If you're in LV's shoe, would you want to share it? I don't know. That's up to you. But our CEO, he loves this industry because it made him his millions, right? So that's the big reason why. Every other brand does not want to do direct sales because they want to keep the money for the top, right? So yeah, please go buy your Coach stuff. Go buy your Michael Kors. Go buy your LV stuff. Go make them rich. No, I'm joking. I'm saying, but from Fairy, she pays you, right? So we had to sort of step on a little bit here more. So really, again, retention ratio is key. We have a really strong retention ratio. Teams now some teams have a 90% retention ratio, right? Which is unheard of. Company average after this many years is still about. Is my butt there? Okay. That's like some like voyeur stuff going on over here. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah. Yeah. I was like, what's everyone looking at over there? There we go. Yeah. Made in Fairy. Yeah. That's PG rated now. So yeah, it's a table. Yeah. So we have a very high retention ratio. And think about it, right? If you on that business from home monthly mailing weekly newsletter, you're on it, right? Every single week, this guy joins this company. This guy joins this company, right? In 9 years now, not one top earner has left to go to another company. We're all still here because we actually are making residual stable income.
Here's actually something to think about. I see this all the time. The top-ranked super vice president, super NATO commander of this company switches over to this company. Why would somebody who's at the top of a company, supposedly making all this money, go to another company? I'll leave that with you.
So someone said because they're not making what they say they're making. Okay, very good. Okay, let's move on here. Okay, because again, I had this training in full on the website, right? We did it last week. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Okay. Wow, this is a different kind of boot camp today. So and Okay, no ranks, no levels, no flushing, okay. Really quickly, right? Here's why the retention is so good in our company. Do our products go bad? Do they expire? No, right? If you want to find a stock up of Market America products, go to Winnie and Sarah's house. They have a basement full of stuff, right? If you want some Amway products, Jason, the leader next door, has a basement full of Amway stuff. Okay, I didn't say that. All right, I'm just saying. Okay, so shelf life there. Do you have to lick the ring to know it's good? Hold on, Lior. So we have a 3-month trial here. You need to lick our watch to make sure it's genuine Ceramica. So you have to taste our product, right? 3 seconds, you know, good or great. Okay. So other companies, you know, people have tried it, and this girl I knew, she's like, Rene, I had tummy aches. I'm like, you know what? I was taught to say that's normal. Stay for 3 months, right? 2 months later, worse cramps. I say, you know what? That's normal. Keep on taking it. 3 months later, she can barely walk. I say, you know what? Just stop it, right? But that's what we're told to say. We're told to become half a doctors, right? And guys, are you guys qualified to give medical advice? No. So why are we? And right now, the issue in the industry is people out there making false product claims. Herbalife got slammed by Ackman because they're posting all these claims saying that this Herbalife milkshake grew back my legs. Or my hair just grew all of a sudden, the whole head grew out. So all these false claims, right? And they got, yeah, something will fly in their mind, right? So we don't have to worry about product claims, right? Because we don't have to make product claims. We're just happy with our stuff here, right? We don't lose our value, it gains value, it can be passed down, right? So watch this. Who wants to, so if I were to offer you between Sarah's Market America 2-year-old inventory in her basement, if I give that to you or offer you my Fairy Mosh ring, which one would you want? Right? So to prove my point, this maintains value, can be passed down to your children, right? Juice, don't pass it down to your children. They'll get sick by it. I swear that they'll get sick, all right? So, okay? And they gain a lot of value. Okay, we're going to fly here. So we're going to skip all this stuff here. You got it? Okay. And this part is so key because it's a belief in yourself. I'm going to put the camera down for a second. Oh. Belief in yourself.
Belief in yourself. The fun part of the conversation, right? What would you be doing if you were unstoppable? Would you be doing more than you are right now? Yeah. What if the word fear never existed? What would you do? So as you can see, Jenett. Oh, that's not a good sign usually. Oh, can you just pull it up on the laptop? Oh, you can. Okay, good. So, a rabbi walks into a bar. No, I'm just hey! I won't finish the joke, okay? So we're all made equal, right? Is everybody here a human being? Okay, good. Just checking. You all have 2 hands? 2 feet? Okay, good. Just checking. 2 ears? 2 mouths? Just got you. Okay. 1 head? I really hope so. Okay. So we're all the same, right? And we all have the same potential, right? There's just sometimes there's stuff in the way of us realizing our own potential, right? So is it true that people are born salespeople? No. When you were born, did your mom say, look, honey, we have a salesperson? Probably not, right? Or we got a doctor. No, right? It's like a new car. So you can do whatever you put your mind to. How many people watch motivational videos on YouTube? Okay, good, right? So you should be if you're not, because that stuff will reprogram the way that your brain works for good. All right, it'll help you be more successful. So people like Tony Robbins, you want to Google on YouTube. People like Jim Rohn, people like Zig Ziglar, and you should be writing this down. All right, Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown. All right, lots and lots of motivational videos. Les Brown, you like him, right? Attend personal development courses. All right. Now, sometimes you might think, well, am I going to get any value from this course? Well, if you just hear one thing that has you see yourself differently, then the whole course was worth it. If it's a 3-day course and you heard one thing that has you look at yourself differently, the whole thing was worth it, okay? All types of people are successful. There's no stereotypes, right? Doesn't matter, IT guy, no IT guy, geeky, not geeky, you know, too tall, small, old, young, female, male, 5 years old, 70 years old. We got all of them in this business, and they're all successful, okay? You can either have your excuses. Who loves their excuses? She's like, or you can have your results. Who loves results? Okay. Pick one, because you can't have both. I know you want both, all right, but you can't have both. You can only have one. So you have to get past the no's. Now, here's the misconception. The misconception is that if you get a no, you're going backwards. But you're not going backwards if you get a no, right? Because here's the yes. Yes, okay. And this is you. This is you, and you're trying to get to the yes. Now, what are you going to reach? You're going to hit a no, right? If you hit a no, does that mean you're going backwards? What does it mean? You're getting closer to what? The yes. What if you get another no? What does that mean? Are you going backwards? Where are you going? Towards the yes. That's what a no means. You have to go through the no's to get to the yes. And you have to see it like that. All right? Because if you think a no is bad, you're going to quit and you won't be successful at anything. You have to understand, no means you're getting closer to yes. No, another no, closer to yes. That's what that means, okay? 80-20 rule. Who knows what that means? 20 people make 80% of the results. Is that true? Right. Okay? So you have to understand. Exactly. Finding the aces. Who plays cards? Anybody? How many aces in a deck of cards? 4. If you're looking for an ace and you get a jack, what are you going to keep doing? You get a 4. What are you going to do? Go to the next person, right? This business is a numbers game. It's all about sorting. So think of Toronto as a deck of cards, and there's aces in Toronto. Okay? Those aces are going to make you millions of dollars, and they're going to make themselves millions of dollars. How do you find them? You sort through the non-aces. That's it. That's all this business is. And so if you're ever not making the money that you want to make, and if you're ever wondering why you're not making the money you want to make, the answer will only always be you're not talking to enough people. You're not sharing enough. That's it. That's always going to be the answer. You're not talking to enough people, and you're not sorting. Okay? So the people who are successful, it's not that they've never gotten a no, it's that they've gotten more no's than you. That's why they're successful, because they've sorted through more people. No, 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 no. Yes. Anybody got a tissue for Rene? Okay? And it's nothing personal. It doesn't mean anything about you. They might have had a bad day, so they said no. They might have been yelled at by their boss, so they said no. They might have gotten in an argument or whatever. They said no. It might just not be the right time, and usually it's just not the right time. Does it mean it'll never be the right time? No. So it's not a no. It's a no right now. It's not a no forever. It's a no right now. That's why you have to do infinite follow-up, because one day they're going to be a yes, and if you're not calling them, it's going to be a no. If you're calling them and they're ready, somebody else is going to get them, not you.
Guess how many days Sherry's out? That's up to me tomorrow. Guess how many days I called her in a row before she finally came out to 7 days. 7 days of no's. No, Rene, too busy. Maybe call me tomorrow. 7 days I kept calling her.
How many people would not be here if she didn't keep calling her?
Oh, that. Right? And even when she came, she wanted 7 more days. I kept calling 7 days. Sherry, right? But when she said no to me first, did I go home and did I go under my blanket and get a bucket of tissues? right? They get all emotionally unstable and they go crazy. No, right? It's business, right? You just go and you share, right? So if your mindset is, I'm here to share, if someone says no to you, you're going to freak out. A lot of you freak out, or you have this pity party or this temper issue, and you go blast the world, you like sucks. I'm not saying all of you, I'm just saying maybe a few of you do that. But don't do that, right? You're just sharing, right? You're helping others. So as long as you get out there and you're not taking it personal, it's nothing personal. Say it, it's nothing personal. I will not take it personal. I promise I will not take it personal. There we go. Actually, one last. Okay. Now, I want you one last thing before we break for lunch is some really cool stats here I got that really made a lot of sense to me. Because ever had that objection? No one makes money in this industry. You ever had it before? You say, oh no. Okay, watch this. Really quickly here. Lior, last one, please.
We got to unplug.
Yeah. What's the black marker? Okay, you can. Hold your hair.
Thank you.
Okay. So, according to CSA, okay, there's $178 billion a year of sales. Write this down.
Hey guys, the angle is
Indirect
not
selling.
right. I see anything.
178 billion a year. That's a lot of money being paid in commission, in revenue for companies, right? Now, the average company, indirect sales pays out about 40%. We pay out how much? 70. Right? So on average, they pay out how much? 40%. So what's 40% payout of $170 billion a year in sales? The answer is 71 billion, roughly. Okay?
Can we
A year
closer to the flipboard?
of commissions being paid out. Agreed, right? Everyone following so far? Should I start again? Okay, well, good, right? Okay, so every year, there's how much being paid out in commissions every single year, okay? That works out to, divided by 12 months, how much roughly? About $6 billion a month of sales being paid out. So right now today, the $6 billion a month of commissions being paid out on average to people, okay, in this industry, right? Which works out to be about 200 million a day. So next time someone says to you, oh, no one makes any money, you say, actually, let me show you some numbers here. There's 200 million commissions being paid per day. It's just not going to you. Because you're emotional about it. You're freaking out, right?
Just make them depressed.
Right? But of course, in GWT, we all get paid, right? So, what's my point here, though? Does that sound sense to you? There's no money getting paid out. No, a lot of people are getting paid out commissions in this industry. Okay?
And what are you going to be doing to get more of this? Looking for no. Very.
Yeah, right? And when you get a no, say, yes, thank you. I need that no to get my next yes.
And they're probably going to say, what are you talking about? Introduce them to GWT.
Yeah. Okay, so that covers the tripod belief training for today. Give it up for Lior Scaler. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. That's fantastic. Did anybody have any idea that kind of money was on the table? And that we're walking away from it every day? It's incredible. I don't know about everybody around the world. Here in Toronto, it's lunchtime. We're going to be back at 1:10 Toronto time. And I also found out there's another time zone this morning. There's a Toronto Chinese time. We're going to go on the regular Toronto time. 1:10, come on back. In the meantime, whether it is breakfast, lunch, or supper where you are, get something to eat because this afternoon is unbelievable. This morning was fantastic. We had the best people you could hear. And we're going to have more this afternoon from the same people and from other excited people who know what they're talking about at GWT. The slides, I believe most of the slides are going to be made available. Yeah. So wherever you are, enjoy your lunch. Okay, so everybody for the lunch that we're having as our potluck, we are at cramped full room, so please take your time, line up, and be careful and friendly.
Sherry, it's Obdulia.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing the screen and sharing this amazing bootcamp with us. So I believe the lunch is 1 hour, correct?
Yes.
Hello?
We're running like 7 minutes late, so I think they say that we're gonna be back in 53 minutes.
Oh, perfect. I hope they can finish within 53 minutes. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be back in 53 minutes. So we're going to be back actually a few minutes before that. And hopefully everyone can resume in and look forward to your amazing, amazing afternoon.
No, that's okay.
Sherry, do you want...
Oh, thank you.
Sherry, can you hear me?